Uncle Sam presents Funko Pop Friday.
Welcome to the Road to Wrestlemania. Road to Wrestlemania. Funko Fighter.
What's up, Uncle Sam fam? We're still on that road to WrestleMania, and if you don't know this pop, then I don't know what to tell you, because if you don't know this guy, you don't know much. I'm talking about none other than, oh yeah, legendary Macho Man Randy Savage. One of the greatest to ever do it. One of the most popular wrestlers of not just his era, but of all time. I mean, the guy's right up there with all the top names, period. Like I've said before, it's like how The Rock was to Stone Cold, freaking Macho Man was to Hogan. Hogan was the biggest thing in the world, and Macho was right up there with them. Macho Man Randy Savage, a favorite of many people. And why not? Look how flamboyant he is. Look how colorful he is. I can't pinpoint exactly when he wore this. I'm sure I will at some point after this, and then I'll be like, can I go back and put that in the video? And then Uncle Sam will be like, the video's done. I did that 2 weeks ago. Where were you? But however, Macho Man has had many iconic looks over his illustrious career. He was already wrestling by the time I came along. I think he started wrestling for his father, Antonio Poffo. I want to say Antonio Poffo was the feller's name. And, you know, his real name, Randy Poffo. His first wrestling gimmick for his father was the Spider. Now, that's funny for another reason, and I'll get right back to that here in a minute, but y'all probably already know because, again, pretty famous guy here and everything he's done. Do you know he played baseball? He was a baseball player before wrestler, but a shoulder injury made him have to leave that behind. Then he followed in his father's footsteps. Man, he has headlined WrestleManias. He has stole the show at WrestleManias. Like, WrestleMania 3, people think Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, but the match people end up talking about is Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Again, if you haven't seen that, you should go check that out. You know, and it's a funny thing because we don't necessarily think of him as a small guy, but in the land of giants in that era, he was a small guy. 6'2", 237, that's funny to say that's a small guy, because in real life, that's not small. You know, you could watch Macho Man when he would come out. He was aware of this. He's a very smart guy. Master of psychology, if you will. Watch when he would come out, he would walk up on his tiptoes and he would spread his arms out to make himself look as big as possible. And he would wear the capes and the hats. In reality, not a small guy, but in the wrestling world, he kind of was, but you didn't really notice that. Go back though and look at some of those pictures of him compared to Hulk Hogan and stuff, and you'll see that. So I don't think he gets enough credit for kind of kicking the door down for the smaller guys. I know we tend to think of guys like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, which of course absolute legends, and they deserve credit as well. But I really think it was Macho Man was the first guy to do it, but he did it so well that we kind of overlook it. We don't even notice it. That's how good he did. Another iconic thing about Macho Man was his music. So to this day, if I'm at a graduation or something, that's not pomp and circumstance, that's Macho Man's theme music. Okay, it was the whole reason I wanted to graduate, so I could walk out to Macho Man's theme music. No, he had a great career. I think a 6-time world champion. Right around the corner, you got John Cena going for number 17, so that may sound like that's 6, but no, again, different era. Titles did not change hands as much. 2 of those were the WWE world title in a time, we're talking about the era of Hulk Hogan and stuff. For anybody else to hold the belt, it was a pretty big deal. Usually they were just transitional champions. Another thing synonymous with him is that salty, meaty, delicious snack, a Slim Jim. You know what I'm saying? Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah. Macho Man, almost as famous for that as his wrestling. But you know what's funny is when he left the WWF, he took the Slim Jim account with him, and that's why Vince McMahon, for years, you were not allowed to say Macho Man's name to Vince McMahon or around him. Now, there's all sorts of stupid rumors and hearsay that people have come up with that, oh, Macho Man, the reason Vince hated Macho Man was because of this or that, and just foolish allegations, people making up. Those rumors did not even exist back in the day. That's all just internet crap. So the real reason is because he took the Slim Jim account and WWF was already hurting for money. So financially, business-wise, that was a real kick in the teeth. Also, this guy had other careers. He was an actor. He was in some movies. Bring me back to the reference I made about his first wrestling character being the Spider. Because after Macho Man, after Slim Jim, maybe the first thing you think of is Bonesaw. That's right. His appearance in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, where he faces off with Spider-Man, who's the human spider who's not yet got it. His suit became the hero in the cage for 3 minutes. Bonesaw's got you for 3 minutes. Very, very famous scene. You know, it's like not even that long of a scene, but it's one of those things you talk about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. Somebody's gonna say, Bonesaw's ready. He was in other stuff too. He appeared in like some Baywatches and Walker, Texas Ranger and stuff. Later on in his career, he would also famously be a member of the NWO and WCW, do a lot of stuff there. I'm not as into the WCW stuff as it's well documented on here. But a very famous segment that happened in WWF on Superstars. There's this really famous segment, and there's this great image of him and Jake the Snake Roberts in the ring, and a cobra. Jake the Snake put his cobra on Randy, and the cobra bit his arm. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you a little inside story. It's probably not inside. Jake's probably told a lot of people this by now, but I actually got to hear it from him personally. They were gonna do this segment where the cobra was gonna bite Macho Man, which obviously they did. But, you know, if you're gonna get bit by a cobra, it better be devenomized. And this one was. However, Macho Man was famously paranoid and did not trust people. And he was actually thinking they might think this is a good time to kill me. So he took Jake the Snake to the side in the showers before the show. He's like, yeah, bring that snake. Duh. And he's like, if it's gonna bite me, first it's gonna bite you. Jake's like, what, really? He's like, yeah, you're gonna let this snake bite you, and then you're not gonna take no pill, you're not gonna take no antidote, you're not gonna sneak off, you're gonna stand here. You're gonna look at me and I'm gonna see what happens. So he's basically like saying, like, I think you're gonna try to kill me, so I'm gonna make you kill yourself first. Well, Jake the Snake reluctantly said, all right. He let the snake bite him. Sucks. Ever been snake bit? Me neither, but I'm sure it hurts. Macho was satisfied. However, Jake was Jake was already an ornery cat. You know, if you know anything about Jake the Snake Roberts, he's a salty dog. Before he went out, he decided to smack the snake around a little bit. That sounded wrong. He decided to smack the snake around a little bit, get it fired up, and get it mad, and get it angry. So now it may be devenomized, but it is a angry cobra. So when it struck Randy, it bit and clamped on, and he could not get the snake off of him. Couldn't get it off. Watch the video, watch the clip. He can't get it off of him. But look at that famous shot right there. That is so good. Oh gosh, that was one of my that's just classic. That's up there with anything else. He wrapped up his career. I also got to mention he had several valets. You know, one of my favorites, Sensational Sherry, during his Macho King run, which is one of my favorite runs he ever had. But you know, Sensational Sherry, Gorgeous George, others, but none more famous than his real life wife at the time, Miss Elizabeth. Can't really talk about Randy Savage, I'll talk about Miss Elizabeth. Macho Man wrapped up his wrestling career in late 2004 when his final match was in TNA Wrestling. It was a 6-man where he teamed with, I believe it was AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, and they took on Hall and Nash and Double J, collectively known as the Kings of Wrestling at that time. You know, I don't know if it was necessarily a great match. A great pay-per-view though, Turning Point. That's the whole pay-per-view is worth checking out. Wait, I think I should mention though, Macho Man actually put out a rap album. Now, I know it sounds like a novelty, but I had it back in the day. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. If you like rap music or you like Macho Man, definitely check out his rap album. It's called Be a Man. He's calling out Hulk Hogan on the album. Dude had a flow. Dude had that iconic voice. Check out his rap album. I'm not even playing. It's not silly. It's good. It's good stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up now for the Macho Man Randy Savage on this road to WrestleMania. Can you do a Macho Man impersonation? It's good as mine. I don't know that mine's good. You just gotta brack your throat out, okay? Anyway, beautiful pop, colors, sunglasses. Oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. Funko Pop Friday. Dig it!
Copyright 2025 Funkos and Presents. UNKLESampresents.com. Email us at AMUNKLESamML.com. Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter. Email us if you wish to be a sponsor.
Check out the rest of our videos at
Like I got a disease too. Please, your pay-per-view event was a joke.
Uncle Sam presents Funko Pop Friday.